By the end of this video, you're going to know how Napoleon actually rose to power in Europe. Most people think he rose to power through a violent coup, but that's actually a lie. Before I reveal the truth, make sure to smash the subscribe button if you love history videos. I upload a new one every week, and you won't want to miss the next. So, let's rewind the clock and uncover the truth behind Napoleon's ascent to power. Act 1. The early years. Our story begins on the picturesque island of Corsica in 1769. Napoleon Bonaparte was born into a modest family of minor nobility. From a young age, he showed exceptional intelligence and ambition, traits that would later define his meteoric rise. But it wasn't until he left Corsica to attend military school in mainland France that his true potential began to shine. At the prestigious École Militaire in Paris, Napoleon honed his skills as a military strategist and leader. Despite facing discrimination as a Corsican outsider, he quickly rose through the ranks, thanks to his unparalleled dedication and brilliance on the battlefield. His early victories in Italy and Egypt showcased his tactical acumen and earned him widespread acclaim among his peers. As a young officer in the French army, Napoleon not only displayed exceptional military prowess, but also demonstrated a keen understanding of the political landscape. He cultivated relationships with influential figures in both the military and government, positioning himself for greater opportunities on the world stage. His deep understanding of the nuanced tactics required to mobilize troops under dire conditions and his ability to inspire loyalty among his men distinguished him from his peers. Even more, his early encounters with the political machinations of the French elite gave him a keen insight into the fragile balance of power within France. The young Bonaparte wasn't just a military man, he was also a fervent reader of philosophy and history. He believed that destiny was something to be seized with audacity and intellect. His observations during the tumultuous times of the French Revolution taught him that power could be a fleeting mistress, and he planned his moves with precision and foresight. As tensions in France boiled over into revolution, Napoleon found himself perfectly positioned to leverage his military successes for political gain. His swift rise through the military ranks had not gone unnoticed, and as the old structures of power began to crumble, he readied himself to step into the void. Act 2. The rise to power. By the late 18th century, France was in the grips of political chaos. The French Revolution had overthrown the monarchy and plunged the country into a period of uncertainty and unrest. It was in this turbulent environment that Napoleon saw an opportunity to seize power for himself. Contrary to popular belief, Napoleon did not rise to power through a violent coup. Instead, he navigated the treacherous waters of French politics with finesse and cunning. In 1799, he orchestrated the coup of 18 Brumaire, which saw him appointed as first consul of France. This marked the beginning of Napoleon's ascent to absolute power, but it was far from the end of his ambitions. With the establishment of the consulate, Napoleon embarked on a mission to stabilize France and restore order after years of revolution and upheaval. His pragmatic approach to governance, coupled with his charismatic leadership style, won him the support of both the French people and the political elite. However, Napoleon's rise to power was not without its challenges, as he faced opposition from rival factions and internal dissent within his own government. The complexity of the political landscape required a nuanced understanding of both domestic and foreign politics. Napoleon's adeptness at navigating this terrain was exemplified by his swift consolidation of power within the government. He replaced key figures with his loyalists, ensured the military's unwavering support, and reformed the French legal system to strengthen his hold on power. His reforms weren't just limited to politics. He overhauled the French educational system, encouraged scientific advancements, and fostered the arts. His strategic marriages and alliances further solidified his position, weaving his narrative into the fabric of French identity. The populace, weary of the instability that had plagued their country for a decade, viewed Napoleon as a beacon of hope. His promise of strong leadership and vision of a united France resonated deeply with a nation in search of direction. As he continued to outmaneuver his opponents and suppress dissent, his path to becoming emperor seemed almost destined. Act 3. Consolidating Power. With his newfound authority, Napoleon set about consolidating his power and transforming France into a formidable empire. He implemented a series of sweeping reforms that modernized the country's infrastructure, economy, and legal system. From the creation of the Napoleonic Code to the establishment of the Bank of France, Napoleon's domestic policies laid the foundation for a new era of prosperity and stability. But Napoleon's ambitions extended far beyond the borders of France. He saw himself not just as the ruler of a nation, but as a conqueror destined to reshape the map of Europe. Over the next decade, he embarked on a relentless campaign of conquest, carving out an empire that stretched from Spain to Russia. His military genius and strategic brilliance earned him a reputation as one of history's greatest commanders, as he crushed opposition and expanded his influence across the continent. Yet, Napoleon's rise to power was not solely achieved through force of arms. He was also a master diplomat, adept at forging alliances and manipulating rivalries to his advantage. Through a combination of military might and political cunning, Napoleon emerged as the preeminent leader of his time, wielding unprecedented power and influence on the world stage. Despite the allure of his military campaigns, Napoleon was a tactician in diplomacy as well. He skillfully negotiated treaties that expanded French influence and secured his borders. His marriage to Marie-Louise, an Austrian archduchess, was not just a union of love, but also a strategic alliance that bolstered his position against the encroaching threats from other European powers. Internally, Napoleon continued to implement policies that would ensure loyalty and productivity among his subjects. He established the Legion of Honor, a merit-based society that recognized and rewarded the achievements of civilians and military personnel alike. This not only motivated his people, but also helped cultivate a culture of excellence and devotion to the state. As Napoleon's power grew, so did his image as a ruler. He fostered a strong cult of personality around himself, depicted in paintings, literature, and public monuments throughout the empire. His legacy was crafted as much by his own hand as by the adulation of his followers, solidifying his mythic status in the annals of history. Act 4. The Downfall. Despite his undeniable achievements, Napoleon's empire was built on shaky foundations. His relentless expansionism sparked widespread resentment among France's neighbors, leading to a series of coalitions aimed at containing his ambitions. In 1815, Napoleon suffered a crushing defeat at the Battle of Waterloo, marking the end of his reign and the dawn of a new era in European history. The seeds of his downfall were sown through the very actions that had elevated him to great heights. His aggressive foreign policies and continuous wars drained French resources and manpower. The catastrophic Russian campaign of 1812, where he lost much of his army to the brutal winter and scorched earth tactics, was a critical blow to his military strength and his reputation. Back at home, the economic strain caused by years of warfare led to unrest and dissatisfaction among the populace. The Continental Blockade, intended to cripple Britain's economy, backfired and caused immense hardship for French traders and common folk alike. His autocratic style of governance, once celebrated for bringing stability, began to be seen as oppressive. The alliance of European powers, strengthened by Britain's financial backing and diplomatic influence, finally managed to challenge Napoleon's dominance. The Battle of Leipzig, also known as the Battle of Nations, saw a decisive defeat for the French forces, leading to his initial abdication in 1814. Napoleon's return to power in 1815, during the 100 Days, was a testament to his enduring influence, but also to the divisions within France and Europe. His final defeat at Waterloo, however, sealed his fate. Exiled to the remote island of St. Helena, he spent his last years reflecting on his rise and fall, a poignant end to a remarkable chapter in history. Now that you know the true about Napoleon, you should watch this video about Cleopatra and her rise to fame. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more fascinating insights into the world of history.